Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's theme for the 30 days mixed media tags that Nikki Parr and myself are doing is paper dolls. So I drew out these paper doll pieces, glued them down onto my cardboard. What I did was I just had a free printable I found, but because I don't have a printer, I just made them a size that would fit on a tag kind of and traced them on my phone with school paper. So that's what I did. I just traced them and then cut them out. And here's me cutting them out. And I just thought, well, whatever, I'm not photocopying it, but I'm just drawing it out. It works, so that's what I did. Anyway, so I have all these pieces now cut out, and then I decide to make my tag a little stronger, so I'm just using the glue here to here 2 pieces of cardstock that's just like a second-hand box here, and I'm gluing that down, letting that sit while I'm working on my dolls. I have no trying to think of the word to use for the joints of my dolls. I think the word's eyelets or whatever, so because I made a smaller size, so then these holes wouldn't be so big because the doll was pretty small. So with my regular eyelets, rivets, I can't think of the name right now, maybe I'm saying the right name, was too big for these, so I decided to try to figure out another way of doing it so then my limbs would still be flexible and without using the eyelets or whatever. But this is what I'm doing now, is just making my little holes for my little bodies, limbs and stuff to come together. And I use a plastic sewing needle, and what is it called, darning needle or something, I don't know, and I just put a little bit of bacon twine or something like that, white rope baking twine or something through it. It's kind of a thicker one, as you can see here, and I sew the joints through together. I did a couple of them and then I ended up gluing the head on a little bit because it was too wobbly, but I ended up fixing that because at first, when I first started, I was knotting the back and the front, but I couldn't quite get the knot tightened up on one end, so it was the limbs were super loose. After doing 2 of them like that, I realized, oh, I could just glue them to the back of the doll and glue it snug and it'll still work. So here I'm trying to tie the knot in the front, have the knot in the back, and tie it in the front snug, and it wasn't quite working. But after doing a few like this, I discovered that just gluing the back end snug in the back it works just as good as any other joint. So see here, this one wasn't too bad, but it was still a little bit too loose for a joint to keep its form. So then I thought, oh, okay, I'll just glue it to the head and then leave the legs hang. But I ended up changing that when I realized I could do a better job of it by gluing it to the back. I'm just finishing that up. I do refix the ones that I had done, as you can see here. Discovered that I can totally do the glue thing and get away with it, and it works so well. Anyway, and then I decide to paint my tag black, and I did not know where I was going at this point. This is where I'm fixing them, but as I'm fixing it, I'm going to tell you I did not know where I was going with this. Then I realized, oh, I have all this little square paper on here, school paper and like graph paper, and what am I going to do? I have to either paint over it, and it'll probably peel off as I'm doing that. So I couldn't think of what I wanted to do with it, but I was kind of more excited about my doll working and coming together that I didn't really think about that. I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do? So he did look like a dummy or mannequin school paper, so I decided to paint the tag black and make it into a chalkboard. So that was where I was going with it, because I didn't want to alter my doll at this point. If I wasn't making a video and I was playing around, maybe I would have done something different. I don't even know. It just came to me that this would be a nice quick idea for this particular doll that I made now, because now that I got my idea down, I didn't want to start all over. So I took my white China marker, which is and I looked at some pictures of Einstein's chalkboard and started copying out some formulas and trying to make it look like an authentic type of chalkboard tag, and doing that. So I also added some kind of chalkboard, rub with the China marker in some spots and smudge it so that it looked like erased chalkboard. And that's how I saved the day, by coming up with this idea like that second. And I glued just the body of my guy onto the tag. Then I was thinking, oh dear, what am I going to do? I ended up finding a piece of dowel, painting that. I think I actually might have did a recording of that. Anyways, and a little piece of barbecue skew or something like that, and made him look like he was holding a chalk. I did, you see, spray a sealer on there so that my China marker wouldn't rub off, and that worked perfect. Because I'm like, after all this, because it was smudging and I didn't want it all the way, like it smudge off all the way, so I had to seal it and make it stay. Glued this guy on just by the body and let his arms and legs go, and it's nice is that it's stiff enough where I can move it and it stays in position, even his head. So I was pretty happy with that actually after everything. As you can see, I'm playing a little bit too much with him. So then I'm like, oh, he needs something. So here is the little barbecue stick skewer I cut off and painted white to be a chalk. And then I decided to finish it up with just the rest of the paint that was on my brush around the whole tag. And that was that. I put a silk rope through. I just had to do it. It was just hanging there on a nice little black silky type rope, and I love it. So I hope you guys love it too. Check out Nikki's video in the description below, and thanks again everybody for watching. Bye bye for now.